Hey, so let's talk about something that could totally change the game for you. We're going to dive into one single idea from the 10x rule, and it's all about flipping the script on what you think responsibility even means. Seriously, let's get right into it.
Okay, just picture this. You're sitting there in front of a brand new video game. The world is huge, the missions are laid out, everything you need to win is right there on the screen. But you don't pick up the controller. You just sit on the couch, yelling at your character, complaining about the enemies, blaming the game for being too hard. Obviously, your character just stands there. Nothing happens. So you gotta ask, right? If you're just yelling at the TV and refusing to play, who is actually in control here? The answer is nobody. And in life, that controller, well, that's responsibility. The second you decide to pick it up, the whole game starts to change. So, first things first, we need to completely tear down a huge misconception. We're taught to think that responsibility is all about blame and guilt, but it's not. It's actually something way, way more powerful than that. Just look at this contrast. On the one hand, you've got the common view. Responsibility feels like a burden, right? Blame, guilt, punishment, helplessness. But the 10x view, it flips all of that on its head. It turns blame into leverage, guilt into permission, punishment into power, and helplessness into control. It's not a weight holding you down. It's the key that sets you free.
So let's lock in this new definition, because this is the whole point. Responsibility isn't a penalty for something you did wrong in the past. It is the permission slip you write for yourself to actually do something about your situation, right now.
All right, to really let this sink in, we're going to walk through a few simple metaphors that make this big idea of control feel totally real and easy to understand.
So which one are you? Are you the passenger in your own life, or are you the driver? Think about it. The passenger sits in the back, complains about the traffic jam, feels totally stuck. But the driver sees the traffic and starts looking for a new route. The driver is steering.
And that's really all it comes down to. If you're not the one with your hands on the wheel making the decisions, then by default, you're being steered. By your circumstances, by other people's priorities, by everything except you.
Okay, here's another one. A room is cold. The complainer can give you 100 reasons why it's cold. They might even open the window to prove how cold it is outside, which, just makes the room even colder. The owner? The owner doesn't explain the problem. They just walk over to the thermostat and change the temperature. They create a result.
It's so tempting to fall into the blame trap, right? Because when we analyze and explain a problem, we feel smart. But explaining why the room is cold doesn't make anyone warmer. The real intelligence, the real power is in creating the result you want.
Now, let's take this to the office. An employee mindset always points outwards. It asks, why didn't they give me the training? Why won't they promote me? It's a total waiting game. But an owner mindset looks inward. It asks, what skill do I need to go get? What value do I need to create to make that promotion impossible to deny?
And that's the bottom line. It honestly doesn't matter what your title is. When you start thinking like an owner, you stop waiting for permission and you start creating value far beyond what any job description could ever ask for.
Okay, so the mindset shift makes sense. But how do you actually start doing this? How does it show up in your day-to-day life? Let's get practical.
This is all about building a new habit, a new muscle. So start small. First, just notice whenever you think they and consciously switch it to I. Then, in any tough situation, just ask yourself, okay, what's one tiny piece of this that I can actually control? And here's the trick. Act on it right away, before you get angry or frustrated. And finally, if you see a tiny problem, just fix it, right then. Don't complain, don't wait, just fix it.
And this should feel like a relief. This isn't about trying to control every single thing that happens in the universe. That's impossible. But what you can always control, 100% of the time, is how you choose to respond. And that is where all your power is hiding.
And hey, if you really want to put this into action, try this Own It Week challenge. It's a super simple 7-day guide to get you started. You begin with just noticing where you blame others. Then you look at your own role, no judgment. Then you start taking small actions, like stopping a complaint before it even comes out. And by the end of the week, you ask yourself the most important question. Where did I feel my power come back? That's how you know it's working.
Now, I'm not going to lie. When you first start taking on this level of ownership, it can feel heavy. It can feel like you're carrying everything on your shoulders. But you have to push through that feeling, because what's on the other side isn't more weight. It's the exact opposite. It's freedom.
So, as we wrap this all up, I want you to hold on to one last metaphor. This one really brings the whole idea home. Think of this as your power source.
Think of blame like a brand new laptop that's not plugged into the wall. It's got all this amazing potential, all the processing power, but it's useless because it's completely cut off from its power source.
So, what is responsibility? It's just the simple act of taking the cord and plugging it into the socket. That's it. You already have all the power you need. Taking ownership is how you connect to it.
It's really that simple and that profound. Wherever you see true ownership, power is right there with it. It's a natural law.
So let's just boil it all down. Here's what you need to remember. Responsibility isn't a burden, it's your personal power source. Every time you blame someone else, you are literally giving your control away. So focus on creating solutions, not just explaining problems. Every single day you get to choose. Are you going to be the driver or are you going to be the passenger? Because you can't control everything in life, but you can always control your response.
And I'll leave you with this. The second you truly decide to take control, to own your outcomes, you're going to notice a wild shift. Life will stop feeling like this random thing that just happens to you, and it will start to feel like something that responds to you.